Is Blizzard effectively shutting down by 2022? Now, I know it sounds crazy, but let me explain. Hey, how you doing? Dash here with a bit of a different video today. As you know, I try and sometimes fail to stay out of the news and focus on lore, but I came across a trending topic or leak from a yet-to-be-revealed source who posted on an MMO champion thread, so probably a disgruntled employee, that claims Blizzard, as we know it, is dead. Now, this leak also gives an outline for future plans for Blizzard's IPs and the company as a whole. I shouldn't say Blizzard's dead, more so they're rebranding, and that honestly makes sense. With all of the bad press they're getting lately, I can see them trying to effectively shed their skin, and well, according to some fans, Blizzard's been dead for years. So without further ado, let's get into the details. The thread starts off claiming that Blizzard Entertainment is going to be dissolved early 2022, and it is going to be replaced by a new team called Insight that will be more a direct part of the renamed Activision Insight. Much of Blizzard, though not all, will be sacked and replaced with new employees for Insight. Now, we've seen things like this, especially when it comes to the allegations of harassment. Diablo IV is a good example, with Luis Barriga, which was a lead developer on Diablo IV, has been removed. A lot of key players have been moved around, and I guess more importantly, Activision Blizzard, in terms of being a brand, though let's be honest, they could probably rename Activision as well at this point, have lost a lot of goodwill. And not for just the recent allegations or the things that have happened with Hearthstone and China's free speech, not on the social side. I'm talking about the games as well, though they wouldn't admit this. A brand that is as valuable as Blizzard, billions of dollars, I can see that they would actually, for once, want to distance themselves from that, but retain the IPs. Now, we have a breakdown of the IPs and their future, and it first kicks off with Diablo is considered by far the most promising franchise at the present. Bit of a shock when you've got WoW, but we'll get to that. Diablo 4 has 3 planned expansions. A remake of the original Diablo is in the works. That would be a dream of mine. Diablo Immortal will receive a PC and console release a year after its mobile release. And that's probably the one statement that makes me question the validity of this leak. Anyway, an untitled Diablo PvP game will begin development under Insight. It still feels strange to call Blizzard Insight. The Diablo team, like the Hearthstone team, will be mostly unaffected by the company shifts. World of Warcraft will be entering official maintenance mode. The little work that is already put into the expansion after Shadowlands will be released 9.3 sometime in 2023, and 9.3, despite the name, has nothing to do with Shadowlands and is just made up of salvaged stuff from 10.0. Classic servers will be merged into 1 or 2 with the launch of Wrath of the Lich King Classic in 2023. This will be the last Classic expansion planned. It sounds crazy on paper to put World of Warcraft, of all titles, which still produces a hefty income, into maintenance mode, but they go on to say that a new untitled World of Warcraft successor is in the works, looking to take a lot from Final Fantasy XIV. This is going to be developed by a majority new team than those who made and worked on WoW. It's not a sequel, but a total reboot with new lore. The base game will focus on the Eastern Kingdoms and Outland, with playable races from both worlds. It is currently believed to not have factions, and it will not borrow from Hearthstone, which will remain separate and continually updated with new expansions. Before Overwatch 2 was being announced, I don't think I could believe that, but I can see new developers not wanting to work on World of Warcraft and this supposed Blizzard 2.0 wanting to work on its own IP. Well, I shouldn't say IP, I should say title. They still want to milk all of that goodwill from World of Warcraft and then gather up all of the hype that they can. That makes sense to me for developers who don't want to take too much risk but still want to make something of their own and put their own stamp on it and say, we made this, even though it is still leveraging clout from Warcraft. Third up, a Warcraft mobile MMORPG project has been in the works since 2019 and will continue under Insight, focusing on drawing in an audience in China. After seeing Immortal, this is believable. It's separate from the new PC MMORPG. The last report said it was canon to WoW, though it is unknown whether this will change with WoW entering into maintenance mode. Concerning Hearthstone, a spin-off game is coming out. It it's going to build off the auto battler modes added. Overwatch is believed to be unsalvageable, failing to capture any modern interest, although it did get a lot of toxicity. Overwatch 2 has been cancelled. Again, I can't believe that this is a part of it. But then again, when you heard about Project Titan, which was an MMO that got cancelled and reworked for years into Overwatch, maybe it makes sense with the new WoW. Overwatch in late 2022 will receive the maps and heroes planned for Overwatch 2, but not the PvE modes. A Netflix original series is in the works and seems unaffected by these cancellations, though they have made no mention about the Diablo rumored series, which I really wanted to see after seeing the Wrath cinematic. StarCraft, as one would imagine, is completely abandoned in any way, shape or form, and there are no plans for the new RTS or MOBA of any kind. I guess Heroes of the Storm gets no mention because, well, it's been, dead for a while, according to Blizzard. Because of their franchises and lead characters like Sylvanas, Tracer, and Kerrigan no longer capturing people's imagination like they used to, it's almost like something was different in the past, like the characters and how they were written or the writers. Anyway, there has been a lot of work done on developing a new IP. After cancelling 3 projects, they have a new project they've been working on since early 2020, set in a unique fantasy universe. It will debut a gacha-style RPG and will be announced at either Gamescom or E3 next year. BlizzCon 2022 has been cancelled, but I'm pretty certain that you all have guessed that. But what do you make of this information? I can see Blizzard foregoing its name to try and capture a new audience, or at least assuage the fears of its existing customer base that it has learnt through a little marketing trick called rebranding. Now, it could be sincere, but I would say with how much that Blizzard's hurting at the moment, that they probably wanted to do a show of goodwill, perhaps, or not only just to the customers, but I'm talking to the shareholders, because honestly, you can't look at this just with the customers in mind or the staff, but realistically, the shareholders, as Blizzard is still making money hand over fist, even when they lay off, say, 30% of their employees, even with all these scandals, even with the games going in maintenance mode and them not really hiring creative people, but marketing people to really juice the IPs. And if I'm putting on my evil CEO hat for just a moment, this could be a brilliant power move from Bobby Kotick. Remember, he previously fired a large portion of the developers so that the company could keep profitable. With the recent allegations, some of the demands that I read, one of them was that they wanted transparency across the board and, a diversity council for hiring, etc. What a better way for Bobby Kotick to just crush his opposition than start again and say it's because of the fact that he wants to help out the company. But really, he gets to get rid of dissenters or people who he doesn't see in his new world vision. And other than hiring people that are loyal to him in his new vision, he still gets to retain the good guy image because he has stamped out the old Blizzard, the Blizzard that has done wrong by its own employees and the customers and created a new utopia. I'm doing air quotes again, you can't see it. Anyway, it's a power move, potentially. This is me with an evil CEO cap on. The only way that I can see this as a viable option is if the name has been so tainted that they've decided, look, we need to put Blizzard to bed, but we need to leverage all the goodwill of the IPs, milk WoW as much as we can, make WoW 2.0, put out as many mobile titles to kind of pay for all of these moves. I can see a lot of shifting pieces on the board. I'm not exactly sure that they can pull off just scrapping Overwatch 2 or World of Warcraft as a whole without WoW 2 already out the gate. The Diablo part, with the 3 planned expansions and a remake of Diablo 1, makes sense. However, they don't even sell Diablo 1. The only place that you can buy it is GOG.com, so, that seemed to be a dead IP, but it really does depend on how much Diablo 2 Resurrected goes out the gate, which I'm pretty sure is doing really well. But Diablo 2 Resurrected had the old game running, so it used the engine and basically overlaid graphics on the top of it. Diablo 1, I love the experience. I love the story. I like it more than Diablo 2. Honestly, there's something about the mood about it, but without the Beelzebub mod, the skills are really slow. If you play as the warrior, you're going to burn out your index finger from left clicking so much. There's a lot that was iterated upon by Diablo 2 and perfected that they would really need to bring over. So I would say that they would need a remake, not just a remaster, but that's my 2 cents there. Immortal, I guess they would milk it and put it out on mobile for a year and then throw it to a Western audience. But what I don't understand is why doesn't Blizzard just simply open, say, an Eastern office? Because, if you want to market market a lot of mobile titles to China specifically, as rumored and seen with Diablo Immortal, why not make a division of Blizzard that is headed for that, and then focus whatever's left, I guess, or your resources here on building games here? Like, have a shared vision that doesn't always translate across, but can also cater to two audiences. That's my 2 cents. I don't know why, of all the rumor mill, this hit me in the gut, and I think that this is going to happen, especially with all the layoffs, especially with all of the bad press, especially with everything that's happened with Blizzard and the audience. Really, you don't have that same feeling. You know, when I used to think of Blizzard, I used to think Blizzard ready, and that meant the quality assurance of any title. Now, most of the IPs are quote unquote being milked to death, and you can't wonder where's the innovation. And clearly, if they want to reinvigorate the company as a whole, they may want to start again, and I'm doing air quotes that you can't see, but also leverage, because I can't see them doing that 100% because of the shareholders and money, but leveraging the goodwill of the customer base when it comes to individual IPs, but giving them something fresh and new and kind of making everybody quote unquote happy in the business side of things. But what do you think? I would love to know, because this honestly has been rolling around my head ever since I read the article. Let me know in the comments below. I honestly want this discussion to happen, because I hope out of everything that the customer base is at least served well. I just want the community to be happy and to have great games. And honestly, with the amount of resources they have at their disposal, and I assume talent, that doesn't seem too much to ask, because they've got the IPs behind them. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I only have 2 more discussion style videos. One is the upcoming Blizzard and their censorship of Diablo 2. There's this weird thing they've censored. I wanted to share that with you. And then the review of the beta, and you know, let people know, is it worth it before it comes out, because you're spending your hard-earned and they're asking for a lot of money. But outside of that, I'm going back to Dark Lord. This is not my forte, but I thought it was important. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, traveler.